I'm going to bring up the presentation for you guys. Yeah. So what we did was we created a beautiful PDF book for you guys. And because you're joining in live, you will all get a copy of this values book, yeah, a free copy. Um, and try to follow along with me as we are going through this a small booklet. It will really help you understand who you are on the inside. Yeah, we go through the world and we experience a lot of impulses, a lot of communication that comes at us. From a very young age, people start conditioning children. Yeah, they are given values, they are brought up in a certain way, they are schooled in a certain way, and as they grow up, the influences they encounter in their workplace, in their relationships, whatever have you, yeah, those kind of shape our values. But what happens many times is we get a little bit mixed up, a little bit confused, a little bit unclear about what it is that we really want, yeah, on the inside. So my question to you, before even starting this whole session is, if you just wanted one thing in your life, just one thing, you wish that, okay, I just want it now. What would that be? Yeah. Think for yourself, and if you want to share in the chat section, I'm very happy to see what you guys think. Yeah. What is the one thing that you really, really want now? Yeah. One thing, if you could have it, whatever it may be, yeah, whatever it may be, the one thing you want, really, really want now. Yeah. Um, think about it. And as you talk about it, let me just bring up the Darren. What do you think? What is the one thing you peace? Darren says peace. Yes, peace of mind. Peace of mind. Interesting. Happiness, Audrey. Happiness. That's a very, very elusive concept, don't you think? I mean, when we say happiness, it is very, very broad. Yeah? Happiness. So let me give you a couple of insights from psychiatry. Yeah? If somebody is happy all the time, then it becomes what we call mania. Yeah, there are people who have bipolar disorders and they have mania. They're all the time happy. But for us, when we say happiness, probably we talk about or we think about those peak experiences in our life that give us that inner joy. Yeah, maybe that's what you want. You want more of those moments where you come in, you go through an experience and you feel good. Yeah, you feel good on the inside. Maybe that's what you mean by happiness. Fulfillment. Oh, that, who is that? Abby. Very good. Abby, you're a probably you're one of those personal psychologists, or what do you call um, innate psychologists, yeah, who kind of understand the world. So there was this very famous psychiatrist, and people asked him, "What is happiness? Yeah, what do we really want?" And what he said was durable fulfillment or durable satisfaction in life, where there is a stream of consciousness, there is a stream of serene, peaceful fulfillment that guides our life without it being broken. And many things can break it. It can be people, it can be money. For many people, it's money. Yeah, it's the world kind of is the world is trying to make money all the time. Yeah, so that puts people under a lot of stress many times. Um, Excellent. Happiness, freedom, freedom. Yes, freedom. You know, you want freedom, yes. Probably what you mean is autonomy, right? Because freedom is a very broad term. Now, freedom, for example, yeah, for example, let's say there is a bum on the road. He doesn't have a job, yeah. He's got all the time in the world. He's got a lot of freedom. But is that valuable? Yeah. Probably what we want in this case is autonomy, where you are delivering value, where you are being paid for the value you deliver, you are being honored in your relationships, in your workplace, and so on. But at the same time, you retain your own autonomy, freedom. So it's kind of like a two-way stream, yeah. Um, so very interesting, very interesting. Success and career. That's a very good one, Era. One of my seniors in medical school, he said, you can do you can do everything you want. You can make mistakes in life, but if you're successful in your career, you're kind of forgiven for your sins. That's a very, very interesting phenomenon that we experience as human beings. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're good, whether you're, people call you that you're not good enough, you are falling short here. All those things don't matter. What really matters is that you win. Yeah, when you win, everybody keeps quiet, and probably that's what you want in your life: success through career. Yeah, excellent, Era. Um, Soraya has posted pursuing a career that is in alignment with my values, that makes me fulfilled, and I feel as if I have a sense of purpose, feeling balanced and at peace in terms of my relationship with myself and other people, harmonious relationships with other people, especially in a work context. Look at this statement. It's very, very, insightful. Yeah. So what Soraya wants, all Soraya wants, right? It's
Okay, just
let me just, guys, I'll just mute you.
let's go.
Okay. So if you look at what she is asking for, these are not big asks, right? These are not big asks. But nowadays, in a life where there are so many moving parts, even this seems like a great wish to have. All she's asking for is to pursue a career that are in line with her values so that she feels fulfilled every day when she wakes up. She wants to get up and feel like I'm contributing to the world. It's in alignment with my values. Yeah, so that's what she wants. And she says, where I feeling balanced and at peace in terms of my relationship and with other people, harmonious relationships. Excellent, very thoughtful answer. So, guys, thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, and let me now bring up what I prepared for you guys. Where do you say share? Right. Okay, please do let me know. Can you see what I'm sharing? Yes. Okay, great. Excellent. So we will now start off with core values. Yeah. So what are core values? Core values are fundamental beliefs and guiding principles that dictate our behavior and help us distinguish between right and wrong. Yeah, they are deeply held convictions that shape how we interact with the world, how we make decisions, and how we prioritize what matters most in our lives. These values often develop very early in life. Yeah, so let me just take you through this document I prepared for you guys. Um, so here you see what are core values. This will give you an understanding of what core values are. Yeah. So these values often develop early in life. They're influenced by family, by culture, by religion, by life experiences, and they continue to evolve as we grow. Yeah, as we grow as human beings, these values sometimes evolve and they change as well. Think of core values as your internal compass. Yeah, compass. They don't necessarily tell you what to do in every situation, but they provide a sense of direction. When you're aligned with your core values, you tend to feel more authentic, more purposeful, more fulfilled. And when you act in ways that go against your values, you may feel a sense of disconnection. You may feel uneasy. You may even feel dissatisfied with life, even though things look very good from the outside. Yeah. So this can happen when you are not in alignment with your core values. So let's look at the next section, which is why are core values important? Why are they important? So they guide our behavior, and our decisions. When you know your values, making choices becomes very clear. It's very easy. You're not just reacting to the world, you're responding in a way that aligns with who you are. They also promote self-awareness. Yeah, understanding your values helps you better understand yourself, your own motivations, your own emotions, your own goals. You understand everything clearly. You now see through the matrix. You see the world. Yeah, because you clearly understand what you truly value on the inside. Values are also important because, let me just mute this person. Yeah, they build resilience and they also build integrity. Now, in challenging situations, your values will act as a stabilizer. Remember this, in challenging situations, which you may go through in life, everything may be calm, everything may be good. And then suddenly something happens, which is a curveball. Yeah. And people may wrong you. Yeah. Some people will just wrong you. They will just not think about you because humans generally are thinking about themselves, their own survival. And when things get tough, they're not thinking about you, right? In these kind of situations, when you think about what your values truly are, who are you as a human being, they will help you stay grounded and you will act consistently. Knowing your values enhances your relationships. It brings awareness. And it also improves your communication with people because you know what you want. Values also support mental well being. Now, research has shown that value congruent living, which means when you're aligned with your values and you live like that, you have higher levels of satisfaction in your life and lower levels of stress and depression. Yeah. I'll say that again. When you are aligned with your values and when you live a life aligned with your values, you have lower levels of stress, lower levels of depression, and higher levels of satisfaction. Okay. So let me share with you some stories from the clients that I've worked with. Yeah. So I do regularly work with private clients. And this is a story of David and Claire. I hope you like the picture I prepared for you. You see, that's actually generated by AI. Yeah. So I'm also learning AI nowadays. I hope you like it. But here's the thing. Their story is like this. David and Claire, they had an achievement trap. That's what you call. Yeah. David was about 48 years old. He's a senior manager in a multinational company. And his wife, Claire, was about 46. She left a marketing job. She was working before. Um, she left her marketing job many years ago and she wanted to raise her two children at home. On paper, they had everything. Yeah, they had a good income, they had a big house, their kids were in good school, but emotionally, on the inside, there was a disconnect. Things were falling apart, and they kind of knew it. Yeah, they sensed that things are falling apart and we need help. Yeah. So the challenge was that David was working so much. He was working about 60 plus hours a week. He was driven by this unrelenting need to succeed. Um, and he knew that it was a competitive space, and he always did it because he wanted to protect his family. He wanted to earn well. He wanted to do well for his family. Yeah? Um, so that's why he was working so hard. And Claire felt emotionally abandoned. Their marriage became transactional at one point. They were just going through school schedules, paying the bills, just going through logistics, just going out once in a while, but no real connection. Yeah, so this is when both of them were going through inner turmoil. David started experiencing anxiety. Now, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a feeling of very light restlessness. When you wake up in the morning, they don't just feel good. Something is off. Yeah. They feel a little bit of tremor in their hands. They're feeling this uneasiness. They're feeling this anxiety from time to time. He was also suffering from insomnia. So he was having difficulty falling asleep. Sometimes he would wake up early in the morning. Yeah. And Claire, on the other hand, she reported feeling invisible in the relationship. She just felt like she didn't matter, and she was kind of feeling depressed. So what they started doing, yeah, everybody started doing. Everybody does this on some level. Yeah, they try to fix things. Yeah, so that's so. What did they do? This is what they did. They were trying to buy their way out of disconnection. David started surprising Claire with expensive gifts, jewelry. They would get away on weekends, and he even got her a new car that was pink in color. It was a beautiful Mercedes. Yeah. Now, Claire appreciated all of this, but eventually she just felt it's just another gift, it's just another transaction. What she was really wanting, what she was really longing for was a real emotional connection, a bond that you feel as a human. That's what she wanted. Another thing they tried was they said, well, maybe it's more about scheduling things that we do together. Yeah. And all couples try this. Usually it doesn't work out. Yeah. They scheduled more time without any purpose. So what they started doing was they started doing more things together. So more date nights, more family dinners, but without actually addressing the emotional distance or misalignment in values. They were present in body, but not in spirit. And it all felt very forced. Yeah, they were forcing themselves to go out. They were forcing themselves to kind of sit there and spend time. And I worked with couples where actually the wife says, you know what, after doing this for some time, she would say, I would just rather go out with my girlfriends and have a glass of wine than going out with this guy. Yeah, he's too much into his work, and he's just not there. I mean, he's there, he's sitting there. We are having some very regular conversation as if we are some kind of buddies, but other than that, there is no chemistry. There is no real connection. Yeah. So, what was the turning point? So, what did we do with this couple? Yeah. So, what do you guys think we did with this couple? So, what we did with David was we started discovering his core values. So, we spent about half a day with the family, and we looked at the core values of the family. And he identified that this has been shadowed, the family has been overshadowed because he was associating everything with achievement. As long as he did well, he thought, that's it. That's all I need to do. So that was overshadowing the value of his family. And Claire, on the other hand, she discovered that she deeply valued connection and she also valued growth. Yes, she was a stay-at-home mom, but she also wanted growth beyond her own home chores that she was doing every day. So, what we did was we used a little bit of acceptance and commitment therapy. Yeah, it's also known as ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. And this is what we started doing. So David began restructuring his time to reflect his values. So he looked at his values and he said, these are the things I value, and I'm going to actually be present mentally as well. I'm going to put thought not just into my work, but also these other things that I want to look at, family, my kids. I'm going to start consciously thinking about these things. Yeah. And he also started working on his communication and his chemistry. So many times, what happens is people are not very articulate with their emotions. They're not very articulate when it comes to having a heart-to-heart talk. Yeah, it's a little bit like, when you're walking in a garden and you look at a flowering rose, a beautiful flowering rose, and as it opens in the morning, if you have a garden, you go and smell it. There is a certain essence to it. That is the smell of new life. Yeah, it just feels wonderful. We used to do that in our home. My mother is a avid gardener, so she has a lot of these roses that she plants, and she would often show me, "Hey, look at this new flower that's coming," and that is a big thing to do. So, taking time taking time away from your life, having the courage to stop and notice the flowers Now, that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor. Yeah. But I hope you get the message. Restructuring your time to reflect your values. So, what David did was he started leaving work earlier. Yeah. Twice a week, he started leaving work earlier. And, there was a promotion that was offered, which required more travel, but he kind of turned it down because he wanted to focus on his family. Claire started a part-time consultancy with her skills, and she reconnected with her own autonomy and her own purpose. One of the things they also did was they wanted to schedule time so that they check in on a weekly basis. So every week, what would happen is they would come in and sorry, and they would kind of check how are we doing when it comes to values. Yeah. Okay, so think about this. If you have a partner, think about what you really value. I'll give you a few questions that will help you understand your values in the next section. Yeah. Get a pen and a paper while I'm talking and while you're listening. There is a momentum that's created. Start writing down the things that come to your mind. Through your mind, it channels to your hand where you're holding a pen and you're writing on a paper. Think about that. So those questions are up and coming, so be prepared. So now let's go back to David's story. So through their income, though their income kind of slightly dropped, but they reported having greater satisfaction. How interesting. Income drops a little bit, but still they feel very connected. So David felt he said this, yeah, I feel more like a husband and a dad than just a guy who's a provider just chasing numbers. And the wife, Claire, said, I feel like I'm seen again. And I can see myself as a human being again, not just running from pillar to pole. Yeah. So that's kind of the first section. If you have any questions, please do post in the chat. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. Your thoughts are very, very valuable. Um, okay, so let's go to case study number two. Case study number two. Let's see what this couple did. Marcus and Janine. This is our second couple. Yeah, Marcus and Janine. Um, See if you can identify a few things here. Maybe you have friends who are like this. This is a story I call the meaning void. The meaning void. Void is a gap, a vacuum, and the meaning void, meaning there is a vacuum, there is a gap when it comes to feeling you are leading a meaningful life. So why was that happening? Yeah, so Marcus was a guy who was about 52 years old. He was a financial analyst nearing retirement. And Janine was about 50 years old. She teaches in the high school. She teaches English. Their children recently left for college, yeah, triggering a kind of existential vacuum for Marcus. You may have heard this. It's called the emptiness syndrome. Yeah. People spending all of their life giving away much of their precious time, making sure that their kids do well in life. And then comes a time when they leave home and it's all empty. Yeah. That's the time when they had this challenge. So Marcus came to me and he was saying, well, I'm experiencing this kind of a very uneasy feeling, almost like a midlife crisis. The kids are gone, the career goals are largely met, but somehow I feel empty and unmotivated. And Janine, who always valued learning and creativity, she felt frustrated that Marcus wasn't interested in doing what she called anything meaningful with their free time. He was just sitting around on the couch, watching TV, scrolling the phone and going through something. She just felt it was a waste of life. Yeah, so that's how she felt, yeah, because she was very creative. She wanted to always keep doing things. And they started growing distant, yeah, with Marcus kind of withdrawing and Janine slowly and increasingly growing resentful. Think about that. Resentful, resentment in a relationship. Now you're asking for trouble. Yeah, now the poison has creeped in to the relationship. And as it creeps into the relationship, you better be careful that you find it quickly and you remove it. Yeah. So what did they do? So what do most couples do? Um, Let me check the chat here. And Hashim says, do you notice key differences on these dynamics from continent to continent or country to country, or has social media made things more streamlined? Thank you, Hashim, and nice to see you on this call. Key differences between country to country, I think, this is what I've seen. I worked with probably so many clients from different countries and lived in different countries. Every human, whether they feel like it or not, they want to feel a true, deep connection inside with another human. That's a basic fundamental of living. Everybody. Okay, think about this. When we evolved as human beings, this comes from evolutionary psychology. When we evolved as human beings, there were no homes, there were no jobs, there were no computer, there was not even light. We used to sit in as tribes for 100,000 years, not 1,000, not 2,000, for 100,000 years. Humans have existed in tribes. In tribes, we sit around a fire, we connect with people, we look up to them, we look up to somebody in that entire tribal group, and we want to feel like we belong somewhere. Yeah. So these are all very fundamental needs that people have. Now, what happens with our kind of pseudo civilization that we put up? Um, there was this famous psychiatrist, and he called it the human zoo. Human zoo. Humans are the animals that actually go and lock themselves voluntarily in a home. You don't see this in any kind of animal kingdom. Yeah, every animal lives free, but humans have this tendency to go and lock themselves inside a door, and they live inside that. So he called it the human. Uh, he called it the human cell, I think, or the human cage. Interesting. And he used this term. He said human zoo, going and living inside your home. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which continent you are from. Yes, there are deep core values which are similar for every single human being. We all want the same thing on the inside, to feel a deep, meaningful connection. Now, as you evolve from that, as you go on the layers outside, there are other types of connections, and there is that fake connection, and then there is that friend you see once once in a blue moon, and then there is that aunt who calls you once in a while. But other than that, when you come to your core values, it's also always the same. But think about this. People also have a problem with trust. This is a true thing. I've seen this with so many people. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. When you get to their core, when you ask them, what is it that you really want? And they know what they want. They figured out what they want. They want this chemistry. They want this deep connection. And then I ask them, remember, if you are going to do this, you have to let go. You have to surrender to the flow. And that's where they have that inhibition for whatever reason. Yeah, they have, maybe they've been wronged somewhere in the past. Maybe they don't want to get hurt. Maybe it's just a self-defense mechanism. Yeah. So these are the dynamics in a couple where you need to work very closely with them and slowly, inch by inch, bring them together until they are kind of, in a very tight lock. Now, before they came, they tried a few things. Yeah. So Marcus began spending heavily. He got a new car, he got this golf club membership, he had luxury vacations, and he just wanted to mask his emptiness. Yeah, it gave him a short-term boost, but he kind of felt hollow. Yeah, hollow. And they started blaming each other. Yeah, it's easy to blame. They started pointing fingers. Janine accused Marcus of being really boring and uninspired, while Marcus said, yeah, Janine really didn't appreciate the life he's worked to build. And these conflicts kept on escalating. Yeah, they kept on escalating. Um, but towards the end, they identified that what they really missed was the meaning. Now, the turning point for them, yeah, in couples therapy, was we explored the values of Marcus. And he said that actually one of the things he didn't expect was that he felt a desire to help others, not just to accumulate wealth, but to kind of mentor people, to help people take that one step while he holds their hand. Yeah, just to be that one good person in life. Sometimes there is good in humanity. And he wanted to connect with that part of him. Yeah. He realized that his job was good, but he no longer felt fulfilled in that thing. So he was inspired by his internal values and identity, and he started volunteering for a nonprofit offering financial literacy to low-income families because he was good with money, and that was one of his interests. Yeah. So what he started doing was he started conducting these classes for financial literacy to low-income families. Now, Janine, she began writing. She began writing short stories, something she didn't do for many years. And they kind of found that they started getting in touch with themselves so that finally they could discover themselves. And both started recognizing that, hey, actually we are interesting people. We are doing interesting things. And when I talked to them, probably about it was 7 months into therapy, Marcus said he felt alive for the first time in many years. He didn't feel alive for like a long time. And Janine said, we've moved from being like roommates back to being partners with a purpose. Their marriage, once again, felt re-energized. Yep. So that's their story. That's how people are impacted. Let me give you one final story so that you completely get this concept of values, and then we'll just go into that small question session where you can write down your core values. Yeah. So this is about Ethan and Rachel. Now, the background was that Ethan was 45 years old. He is a software executive, travels very frequently. Yeah. Rachel, beautiful lady, 43 years old, a nurse, and she works night shifts. And they've been married for about 15 years. They've been juggling these stressful careers, and they've been parenting two kids, and their kids were preteens now. Yeah. And both felt burnt out. Ethan began questioning whether his high, high octane job was worth it. And Rachel was overwhelmed and she started experiencing panic attacks. Sometimes she would just go and sit in a corner and she felt like the world is falling apart. Yeah, so that's panic attacks. Their communication was filled with tension and blame. Neither of them felt supported. Neither of them felt understood. Yeah. Um, Now, there are misguided fixes. Yeah, there are misguided fixes. One of the things they did was they started doubling down on their efficiency. They tried to fix their problems by optimizing everything, using shared calendars, using organizing chore charts, and even productivity apps. Their life became so organized, but there was no connection. And this was really interesting. He said, we became efficient strangers. And Rachel said, there is this self-care that I'm doing, but it happens in kind of isolation. So Ethan started thinking about this. He started meditating for the first time. He actually thought, what is meditation? I really cannot sit in a place and meditate. And one of the things I told him was just sit there, try not to think of anything, just look at an object, yeah, and just take a pencil, pen, whatever it is, just put it on a table. Okay, just put it on a table, sit there, and just let go. Just let go of every thought that comes into your mind. Your mind is like a monkey. It will keep on giving you these thoughts. Sometimes this is called psychological noise. Psychological noise. And the one of the ways to calm the psychological noise down is to just sit and let go of all the thoughts. No matter how how important you think things are, that's actually when you need to let go the most. Yeah. And Rachel, for her, it was doing yoga, and she started attending these retreats. Um, but they really didn't feel aligned still. Yeah, they still were struggling. The turning point, however, was we kind of did like a 2-day boot camp with them, and what they kind of did was they did a values inventory. Yeah, and Ethan ranked, when we did a ranking of their values, Ethan ranked stability and authenticity very high. That is something he didn't really expect. Yeah, and Rachel valued health, family, and balance in her life, which she didn't experience in her life. Yeah. So what did they do? Finally, they kind of negotiated a partial, kind of a remote work role for him, and he started, doing a lot of remote calls, and he stopped traveling so much. So he kind of understood that, well, this needs more attention. Yeah, this needs more attention during this period. And he kind of realigned his calendars and he started cutting down on all the travels. Now, Rachel moved to a day shift. She even thought it was, even though it was kind of paid less, but she kind of liked it. She started going on morning walks. Um, and slowly but surely, they had built a values map, and they used it whenever they needed to make decisions, whether it be big decisions or small decisions. Yeah? And what that did was it actually reduced the conflicts, and they felt like they were not chasing something out there. Yeah, they started running out after something that's out there, and they started living in a way that actually matters to them. Yeah, it actually matters to them. So let's now summarize. What do you think each of these couples show in these cases? How common do you think people reach out for band-aid solutions? Yeah, just put a quick band-aid and that's done. Yeah. So think about this. Take away money, take away the need for control, take away the distraction, take away the blame, take away the misalignment, and focus on your core values and address that part. That's when real change starts happening. So you need to slow down a little bit. Yeah, you need to get honest and start living in a way that truly matters to you. Now, what you will see on the screen is the worksheet. Yeah, this is called the core values alignment worksheet. And because you guys have made the time to participate live, I will give this to you guys at the end of the session. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. You can download it. You can share it with your family. It's a very valuable worksheet. You can always explore your values. And I would suggest you do this once every 2 years. Yeah, once every 2 years, reflect on what values really drive you. If you need help, I'm always there. You can go to my website, psychologymd.com. If you need a little bit of fixing, if you need a little bit of opinion on something, just go there and get help. You don't need to do life by yourself. Yeah, you can always get help. So let's start. Yeah, reflect on what really drives you. Reflect on what really drives you. If you were to explore some key life moments, what are some of the key life moments for you? Think about it. When you think about your life, when your life flashes in your mind, what are some of the key moments that you remember and think, oh, yeah, that happened in my life. That was good. That was so good. And when you think back to those times, and when you go back and when you live in those moments, you get a indicator of your internal values. Those moments help you uncover the values for you. Okay, so this is what guides your decision. So think about what are some of the values that those peak moments reflect. Identify the core values. It's really about choosing things that matter to you. It's like uncovering something that's always been whispering to you all along. Yeah, so take a moment. Okay, I'll pause here. Take a moment. Think about three peak moments in your life, peak positive experiences. If you look, do you like this picture? I created this for you guys. Yeah, this is by AI. I hope you like it. Personal artwork, courtesy Stephen Anthony. Yeah, all made. So for you, here's the question. Reflect on peak experiences and ask yourself, when in my life Did I feel most alive? When did most alive, most proud, and truly at peace? Okay, think about this. When in my life did I feel most alive? Or there might be a moment when you felt really proud, saying, wow, I did this. Or there might be moments when you felt truly at peace. You felt like everything is fine, everything is going well. Life is good. What are those moments? Think of those moments. What were you doing in those moments? And think of a time when you did something. This is the second part of the question. Think of the time when you were so engaged that time just faded away. You are so enjoying what you're doing. So, what were you doing in those moments? That's a question. What were you doing? Why did that matter to you? Why did that matter to you? Who were you with? Yeah, who were you with? For example, if you're feeling proud after standing up for someone, yeah, some people have this, it means you value justice, you value courage. Yeah, if you're mentoring someone, maybe you feel like you need to contribute what you have, the value you bring to the world. So think about those two questions. Yeah, reflect on the peak experiences. Um, Let me look at the chat here if you guys have any questions. Great. Remember purpose. Cubicle farms. Uh, yes. What is it for you guys? Yeah, think about that time. If you want to share it in the chat group, please feel free to share. So that is important. So that's a first indicator. Yeah, that's a first indicator. And remember that picture that I showed you? That's the first part. Second part of this worksheet. Now look at this picture. What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing in the picture? He is looking at a flower, a sunflower. Explore deep disappointments in your life. This is a tough one. This again points to your values. This is the second part. Yeah, explore deep disappointments and anger in your life. Where will you be holding anger? Carl Jung once said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding about ourselves. So, what situations made me feel deeply upset, frustrated, or even betrayed? Yeah. So, think about the pain and what does that tell you about your values? For example, if you were being hurt by somebody being dishonest, then probably you highly value integrity. If you're angry because you were talking about something and somebody just dismissed your opinion or just talked over you, and you felt bad, that means you value respect. You want your voice to be heard. So these are all moments that give you a peek, a kind of a glance. Yeah. So that's the second part. If you have any questions, please again feel free to type it in the chat section. The third picture, look at this picture. What do you see? What do you see in this picture? See a man standing before a sky. Looks like a dream, but he's staring into the abyss of the universe. Sometimes we don't know, not sometimes, actually all the time. None of us know where we came from, where we are going, why we are here. None of us know. There were millions of years before us. They say now the revised timeline is that the universe is 28 billion years old, billion with a B. Yeah. The universe is 28 billion years old. You cannot even fathom that kind of a timeline. So we've been alive for probably about 0.00000000001% of that time. The universe has been around. And just like that, like a speck of sand that disappears on a beach, we are gone. Yeah, so think about that. So, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? What values do I? So, here's a question for you. Which values do I want to be known for by those that I love and I respect? Which values do I want to be known for by those that I love and respect? So this is a eulogy test. Yeah. So imagine someone you deeply respect is giving you an eulogy. So you're dead, somebody is talking about you. That's the eulogy test. Imagine someone you deeply respect giving a eulogy at your funeral. What would you want them to say about the kind of person you were? What is that thing that comes to your mind? Maybe somebody just wants to, maybe you just feel like people just need to think that I'm a good person, that I helped others. I was not like trampling over people just to get ahead. I was actually helping others. Maybe it's one of those things for you. I don't know. Maybe, Andrew Carnegie, when he died, they opened his desk, the shelf, and they found this paper. Andrew Carnegie came from a very humble beginning, and he became the richest man at that point in time due to steel and railway constructions. Yeah. And he wrote in that paper, to spend my first, I'm going to spend the first half of my life creating unlimited wealth, and I'm going to spend the second half of my life giving it all away. And he did a lot of charity, did a lot of charity. So, what do you want to be known for? So, what happens is when with this question, you kind of bypass your ego at the surface and you really understand what your core values are. There are a few other guiding questions. Yeah. One of the questions is, who do you admire and why? Who do you admire in your life and why? What values do they embody when you think of them? What values do you think they are living by? If you had one, okay, so get that part. Yeah. So who do you admire? What is the value you really like? Another way to flip the question is, whom do you hate? Whom do you hate? And what is that quality that you hate about this person? Take that, and that gives you a clue to actually what you value. What you value. Maybe you see a person who's all the time smiling, but when it's time to help you, they're gone. Yeah, they're just pursuing their own thing. So maybe what you wanted is just honesty, integrity. So those give you a clue into what you really want. Another question. This is an interesting one. I really like this one actually. I found this question many years ago. The question is, if you had just 1 year to live, just 1 year to live, how would you spend it? Just three things. Think about it. If you had just 1 year to live, how would you spend it? What are the three things you would do? That again gives you a clue into kind of what you want. The last question on this on this stream of questions is the deathbed question. Now imagine you go all the way to the end of your life and you're on your deathbed. Don't tell me you're not going to die. You're going to reach there. I'm going to reach there. Everybody is going to reach there. Yeah. Everybody is going to reach the deathbed. Now imagine you're on the deathbed, the last moment, the last day. What do you think you would be happy about in your life? Maybe you'll think, let's hope that you have still consciousness. Yeah. So what would you be happy about? What will make you feel satisfied on the inside about the kind of life that you lived? If you think about your life and you say, well, I lived a good life, um, and I like what I did. I really like what I did. I like what I built. I like how I was with people. I was true. I was honest. I was giving them what they wanted. And I did my best. Yeah. If that's what you want, that gives you a clue into your core values. Yeah. So one of the things we did previously um, is get you thinking on this thing called the wheel of life. If you had attended one of our previous sessions, we said there are five main areas. Pay attention. This is why you have to attend every session. It builds on each other. Yeah. So we said there are five main areas where you need to focus on. If you get these five areas in your life correct, you would be very happy. Yeah. So as the gears in your mind start to turn, think about these five areas. Yeah. So I'm on your screen, you will see this very nice picture of this lady sitting. What it symbolizes is health and vitality. Yeah, that's a picture I created for you guys. So think about this. What do you, so we are, what we are going to do now is there is the wheel of life that I shared with you in the last session. So don't worry if you don't have it. We will go through it now. Five main areas, and I'm going to ask you questions to identify what you truly value. Okay, ready? So we are going to do this very quickly. Yeah, very, very quickly. Wheel of life. Wheel of life starts now. First section, health and vitality. Health and vitality. What do you value when you think of your health and vitality? Do you value your core physical well-being? I will give you some prompts, yeah, what people generally want, and think about if it resonates with you. Feel free to just copy it. Yeah, you don't need to redo it. You don't need to come up with new words. Yeah. So here are some words to help you stimulate your thinking, yeah, to make it easy for you. What do you want? Do you want mental, emotional equilibrium, that sense of balance? Do you want safety, feeling physically and emotionally safe with with the family? Vitality, vitality. Do you want freedom from illness? Do you want a lot of energy in your life so that you can go explore, do what you want? Yeah. Now, for many people, it's not that they don't want to do well in life. It's just that their body is not kind of going with them. Yeah. So this is where, especially during difficult times, you need to train your body to be to show that vitality, to show that vitality. Your mind needs a partner. Yeah. So what do you want there? When it comes to energy, do you want to have more physical energy so that you have a vibrant lifestyle? Do you want mental resilience, mental toughness to overcome uncertainty? Do you want to build endurance, physical health, so that you sustain big demands of parenting, of living a life? It all takes energy. Do you want a good body image? You want to be presentable. Maybe when you wear those clothes and go to a party, or you go to that workplace presentation, you want to look neat. Yeah, so maybe it's body image for you and presentability. Nourishment. Maybe it's nutrition to avoid disease and to stay healthy. Maybe it's youth. It's mastering youthfulness and reducing signs of aging. Maybe it's self-care. It's grooming to look your best. Maybe it's focus, maximizing food intake and supplements for maximum focus. Maybe it's other values. So that's the first section. Now let's go to the second section. Yeah. Wealth and financial freedom. Wealth and financial freedom. Having a clear vision for your long term, but also your short term. Short term is 2 years, long term is 10 years. What's your financial vision for 2 years? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Get a number in your mind. It's achievable. Get a number in your mind. Short term. Okay? Write it down if you have the number in your mind. Long term, 10 years from now, 10 years from now, 2035. What do you think you want as your net worth? How much? These are very straightforward questions, but you don't need to answer to me. Just write it down for yourself. Yeah. Sustainability. Do you want to build a sustainable business, over something that is like, one-time shot? Do you want to have, you know, maybe you just enjoy achievement. Maybe for you, success is about maintaining everything around you very nicely. Maintenance takes money, right? So maybe for you, you want to have enough money so that you don't care about maintenance. Your home looks perfect. Every time it's clean, it's maintained well. Maybe that's the thing for you. Responsibility. Maybe you want to have more financial discipline when you spend. Maybe you want financial independence. Maybe you want autonomy. Maybe you want to choose how you live, where you live, how you work. Maybe it's, you want to be in a leadership position. Maybe it's sometimes maybe you just want to bring innovation to the world and grow through that. Uh, Maybe sometimes it's just about having a good lifestyle. Maybe you just want to be productive with your energy that you have, getting the best value out of your time. Yeah. Maybe at the end of it, you want to be generous. You want to give freely. You want to people that deserve it. You maybe you want self-reliance. Maybe you also want legacy. Think about that. Leaving behind money for your next few generations. Maybe you want to leave behind some wealth. We don't know how the world is going to be. It's evolving so fast. So maybe you want to leave behind some wealth to protect your, loved ones. Third, third part. Yeah. So now we will go to the third part. Let's see what picture we have. Here you to see a lady. She's contemplating relationships and love. So what is it that you want from relationships? Is it true human connections? Is it loyalty? Is it commitment? Is it acts of kindness? Maybe you just want your partner to be kind with you. Just do small things that you appreciate. Maybe you want to do that for them also. Yeah. So bringing that into your relationship. Maybe you want trust. Maybe you value um, family. Maybe you value humor. Maybe you value the moments you build and enjoy with your family. That's a good one. Think about it. Maybe you value good moments you build with your loved ones. Loved ones can be anybody, right? Maybe for you, your life might be about just building those beautiful moments. Take a picture, take a small video, capture it. Maybe that's it for you. Yeah. Maybe sometime you will look at it and you feel good that you actually created those moments for your life, for people in your life, yeah, the loved ones. Maybe it's providing guidance and helping people with relationships, or maybe you have some other values. Yeah, so think about it. Um, okay, so let's go to the next section: purpose and contribution. Yeah, purpose and contribution. Um, so, what is it for you when it comes to purpose and contribution? This is the fourth pillar. Yeah, here you see the picture of a lady. She's thinking about what really matters. Yeah, so what is your vision? What is it you want meaning in your life? Is it that in the beginning people came up with freedom, they came up with autonomy, they came up with many different things. Is it authenticity? Is it service? Is it justice? Is it creativity? What do you contribute to the world? What do you want your contribution to the world to be? Maybe you're just a curious person, and maybe you're just a collector. Maybe you just collect things. I don't know. And you just make people happy with your collections. Maybe you're a painter. So what is it? What is the purpose and your contribution to the world? Think about that. Yeah. The last one, spirituality and inner peace. One of the members said inner peace in the beginning of the session. So, spirituality and inner peace. Think about it. So, here you see a woman sitting very nicely, and there are clouds in the background. She's just having that inner stillness amidst all the outer noise. So, is that what you value? Do you want peace? Do you want wisdom in your life? Um, do you value learning? Maybe that gets you in the mood. Maybe, I know people, for them to feel good, they need to just read some good books. Really, that's all they need to do. The life may be going in 10 different ways. All they want is to listen to somebody who's positive, to listen to somebody who inspires them, to listen to somebody who tells them that everything is going to be okay. We are in this together. And they just, for me also, I like to listen to some inspirational people from time to time. Just have it playing in the background as you're probably cleaning your house. That matters. Maybe you read a book and just read it aloud. It helps. Yeah. So these kind of things, is that what you want to build with yourself on your inner side? Is that what you want to do for yourself? Yeah, enjoy that quiet divinity, that solitude. There's a difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is when people cannot be with themselves, they're unhappy. Solitude is when you're by yourself and you enjoy that time that you spend with yourself. It doesn't matter whether you have approval of everybody in the world or not. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you enjoy spending time with yourself. Now that we've gone through the five main areas, my question to you is, if you have this list, rank them on 1 to 5. Now, like I said, I will be sharing this PDF with you guys. If you want the recording of this video so that you want to go along and you want to write it down, I will leave it in our Telegram group. Yeah, all these are available in our Telegram group. It's free to join. There is no obligation to do anything. You can receive recordings of this, and you can go through this recording and you can slowly write down what matters to you. Yeah. So finally, think about the five top values that matter to you, and that will give you your core identity. Core identity. Those core values will stay the same, but some values, some superficial values will change from time to time, depending on the stage of your life, usually every 2 to 3 years. Yeah. But the core values stay the same. So understand that part of yourself, and that gives you a true compass to who you really are, to what you really want. Yeah. So that's part of our work session today. Look at I gave you some examples. Also think about, are you making any of those mistakes that those couples were making? Are you trying something that isn't working? Is there an approach that you're taking where you're not in line with your values? Where are you going wrong? Identify those missteps that you're taking, and that will give you a very good clue. So each of your current stressors, relationship, work, health, ask, what have I tried or what am I doing that isn't working? Does this approach reflect my actual values, or just is it just driven by fears and habits? What were the outcomes that you have, which you didn't intend to have? What are the stressors? Are you feeling disconnected for any reason? So, what are some of the values that are not being met? What are the mistakes that you're making? So those are the things. Here is a list of how to realign your values. Yeah, if you look at your screen, it says how to identify the issue you want to fix. What could be the aligned action? What's the first small step, and what obstacle should I watch for? Yeah, so here is a table of examples of what you can do. Yeah, this is just a table to kind of guide you a little bit. Um, so after that, you can create your own values-based statement. Yeah. So if you're really playing this game, yeah, if you want to play this game like a champion, you can create your own statements. You can say, well, I understand my values, and this is my core life mission. This is my statement. This is it. Yeah. And then you can check in, and then you can adjust. There are a lot of references that I've used. Here are the references. This is all based on research, yeah? Research and real experience of working with people. So that kind of brings us to the end of this session. One thing I would like from you guys is, please leave a review. Yeah, please leave a review. I would really appreciate it. There are different sources from which you may join. You might join from Meetup. If you're joining from Meetup, please go to the reviews tab and leave an honest review. I really value that. Yeah, that's actually the only thing I get from this. Uh, and when I see that people are coming in, they are giving good feedback, it also gets me motivated to do more for you guys. Yeah, so please take that time to do this. Now, as I promised, I will be sharing with you this document. Yeah, so this is a gift because you participated live. Okay, so here you go. Okay, so you guys should see it now in the chat. Yeah, so you can just download it, save it, and go through it. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for staying throughout the session, and I wish you a very happy weekend. Yeah. Uh, bye-bye. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for the comments.